And this is a 2025 horror film directed by Zach Greger, the director of Barbarian. And I've seen Barbarian. I like it. And I like this one. I watched it last year around Halloween. And my original review, I deleted it because you could hardly hear what I was saying in it because the audio didn't record good. So I deleted it and redid it. I rewatched it again last night before reviewing it. And I liked it the second time I watched it as much as I did the first time I watched it. It has a great cast, including Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Alden Emerson, B.D. Wong, and Amy Madigan. They wanted Pedro Pascal to play Josh Brolin's character, which I'm glad they didn't cast him because I'm just getting tired of seeing Pedro Pascal and everything. They're really overdoing this actor. Although I liked him in Material this last year. Anyway, the story of the movie, these 17 kids in this elementary school go missing, and they're all in the same class that this teacher, Justine, played by Julia Garner, was teaching, and she's a reclusive alcoholic, and she's being accused by the whole town of having something to do with it, even though there's only one kid in the classroom who's still there and still comes to school every day. And what's one of my major issues with this movie? Like, why is everybody suspicious about the teacher, but not about that one kid that's still there? Wouldn't they one be thinking that he might have been involved in it too, since he hasn't been kidnapped and the story is told with a non-linear narrative. I don't mind that, and I it helps build up the suspense and mystery of what's going on. And Alex is he's played by child actor named Carrie Christopher, and Carrie Christopher does a good job with this role. I just call him Christopher. And Julie Gardner is good as a teacher, and Alden Emmerich, he plays this like policeman who is Justine's ex boyfriend, he's married now, and he still has a thing for her, but she doesn't want him, and his wife is very jealous. And in one scene, she attacks his wife in the grocery store, and I mean, she attacks Justine in the grocery store because she thinks there's something going on between them when there's not. And like each part of the narrative is told from like chapter one, from the point of view of Justine, chapter two from the point of view of Archer, Josh Brolin's character. He's the father of one of the kids who went missing, and he's trying to help investigate it himself. And it's the police in this movie are so incompetent. Why they're so incompetent? And like a lot of other people I've heard point this out about the movie and their reviews of it. Like, if this happened in real life, it would be all over the news, like nationwide news. It would be like, well, U.S. Marshals, FBI, whatever, doing on the hunt, looking for these kids with track dogs and everything, helicopters and everything. And the villain in this movie is a good villain, but she's kind of makes a lot of stupid decisions. I'll get to when I get to her. All right, then after we get to Josh Brolin's character's point of view of the movie, we go to this the cop Paul, played by Alden Image, who's Justine's ex, and the got this junkie that the cop makes a deal with to help him. I didn't care for those two that subplot. They could have left that out. And then then we get to Alex's point of view where it's a flashback where his aunt Gladys, she comes to visit the family. She's played by Amy Madigan. She does a pretty good job in the role Amy Madigan does, and she makes a pretty interesting villain. And she's dying of something. I guess it's cancer because she's wearing a wig. She's bald, probably from chemotherapy, and she has this like stick thing, like a magic wand or something that she can like wrap pieces of people's clothing or pieces of their hair or stuff they own and use it to like put them in this like vegetative state and make them do whatever crazy stuff she thinks up. Like she hypnotizes his parents into freezing at the dinner table, and then she'll make them like she demonstrates how powerful she can be by making them stab themselves in the face with forks. And she says, Alex, I can make your parents hurt each other. I can even make them eat each other unless you do what I tell you to do. And she she wants to drain the life force of younger people in order to cure her illness and make her live longer. But she does it with his parents at first, but she realizes that they aren't good enough, so she tells Alex to go to school and collect some items from his classmates and then bring them back home. He does it, and then she uses the items on the magic wand to like hypnotize them and make them like run across the street, like they're running with their arms spread out like this. And the reason is because it's supposed to look like a heat-seeking missile, I guess. Hence the title "Weapons," because you can control whenever people run like that. Whenever they attack people later in the movie, um, and the school principal is played by BD Wong. Marcus, he gets suspicious, and when Aunt Gladys visits him, he says he wants to talk to his parents since she's not a legal guardian, and or else he'll call Child Protective Services. And Gladys just shows up at his house, and the principal, he's married to this guy and to his husband, and Gladys uses her magic wand to hypnotize the principal and make him murder his husband, and then she makes him run across the street looking all ugly, evil, and bug-eyed, like his eyes popping out like crazy face. And he attacks Justine when her and Archer are having a conversation in the school parking lot, and she he chases her all across town, and Archer tries to stop them. I mean, they go to the grocery that gas station and the same gas station from earlier, and Archer like he slams him into the like this glass freezer door and it breaks, but he just keeps running and running. And I mean, Justine, he keeps telling the shop owner to help her out, and he's like, he said, you just get out of my store. I mean, man, you telling her to get out, but you're not telling the psychopath who's trying to kill her to get out. What? Well, not a psychopath. He's hypnotized, but and this principal is so fat, like he can just. I mean, how is he not like passed out from a heart attack from running like that? And the principal dies and gets run over and dies. And then Justine and Archer, they go to the Alex's house to investigate. And the Justine, Aunt Gladys has hypnotized the Paul and the homeless junkie to be her bodyguards, and they fight them and they win. And then Alex takes Gladys's wand and he uses it to like turn the kids against her and kill her. There's a satisfying conclusion where she gets like torn apart by these kids, like in a gruesome way. Just karma on her. Got what she deserved, evil bitch. And she is a stupid villain, though. Like I said, like she'll one scene where she cuts Justine's hair while she's sleeping in a car doing a stakeout, and but she doesn't use that against her. Like, why don't we just make her like, if you want to get rid of her, why don't you make her jump off a bridge or something? Or if why don't you just like when the principal wanted to come over to talk to the parents, why don't you just control the parents and make them talk to them and say everything's fine? Or and why did you take all the kids in the class except Alex? Like, why don't you just get them to take an item from a different kid from a different class each? That way, it wouldn't be look so weird. And why you keep it? How are you able to feed them in the base? Alex goes to the store, he buys all these soup cans and feeds them to keep them alive. And but did she make him go to the bathroom? I don't know. And why is nobody suspicious about Alex buying enough food to feed 17 people when there's 17 kids missing? You know, a lot of this doesn't add up, but I don't know. It's just a movie. It's just fiction. It's suspension of disbelief. And this is a great horror film, despite its flaws. I give it 2 thumbs up. All right, that's it for now. Thank you and God bless. Bye.